So the two most common questions I get asked is, how the hell do you fix people over Zoom? And wouldn't it be better if I was physically present? And I want to talk about these because whilst, yeah, there are some obvious answers, the nuance is what matters here. And when it comes to OP, you need to understand it's very different to every other injury you've had. So the rules are slightly different here. So first of all, yeah, obviously there are advantages to you being physically present, right? Like I can treat you, I can physically move you when you're performing in exercises. Those are things that do have their advantages. But what you need to understand is if you were physically present, first of all, I wouldn't treat you. I wouldn't waste our time together in session, that resource, on treatment. It's not that treatment isn't good. I certainly have a lot of self-treatment videos that are different to what you'll have seen online for YouTube for OP that will specifically break down the best way for you to address the stiffness and the tightness in your pelvis to loosen things up and make movement better. But the reason why I wouldn't treat you is not that I couldn't make your hips feel better. It's that it wouldn't stick, it wouldn't last. OP isn't an injury, it's not a muscle strain. This is something that you do with your bad mechanics all day, every day. So I would treat you and it would wear off in a couple of days because you would just move around and piss it off again. What we need is to be able to change those mechanics, and that's what rehab does. So I wouldn't waste that time treating you. I would show you and give you videos and give you access to it so that you can go and loosen things up if you want to on your own time, but I'm not wasting that resource of our time together in a session. Now, in terms of being able to move you around during rehab, yeah, I would absolutely do that. But you know what's even better? When you go on Zoom and you give me two camera angles, so you log into Zoom with two sessions, so one on your iPad, one on your phone, so I can see you from a side view or a back view or a front view, so I can get multiple angles all at once. I prefer that so much better than you being physically present in person. The reason for that is because I can compute both those angles at the same time and get to the bottom of what you're doing wrong. And then on top of that, I can record the screen with those two angles, draw on it, highlight, and show to you exactly what you need to change to get better. To me, Zoom in so many ways for rehab is a much better mechanism to actually teach you what you need to know to get better. Because at the end of the day, it's you learning what happens that actually allows you to go and get better. And yeah, physically moving you can help, it can do that. But you know what's even better? You learning and understanding what you need to change. And then what is even better than that is that I can physically move you and put you into a position. You're not going to remember it. You're going to go home, wake up the next day, and you're going to forget what I did because that's just what human beings do. What you can do with a Zoom call, though, is you can open up the session recording that I'll provide to you, and you can replicate all the things I did with you in that Zoom session to make sure you're doing it correct again. Because I will get you to do it correct again over Zoom. And if you don't believe me, watch the plus 50 long-ass testimonials that I have online that have people telling you how I'm doing that. Because in the end, it's about you learning how to fix you. And so from my perspective, yeah, there are definitely advantages to being physically present in a session, but I've been doing this for over a decade now over the internet. First Skype and now Zoom, using that to get people better. And from my perspective, you being in your physical space, whether you're doing the session from your gym or doing the just session at home, you being in your own physical space, you being responsible for having to send me videos during the week, for having to make the changes yourself to the exercises when we're in session, that is so much more conducive to you actually replicating those changes in your everyday life, in your rehab sessions that you're performing every day, that will then fix you. And that's the thing you need to understand. It's not what me and you do together in session. I will teach you what you need to know. That's not hard for me to do. What's hard is to make sure that you are doing the things that you need to do every other day of the week for your hour a day of rehab to make sure that those changes that are made in session stick. And to me, from my perspective, Zoom, doing it online, has been a much more fulfilling, much more successful process than I ever was as a therapist in person. So even if you live in Cairns at the top of Australia in the middle of nowhere and you want to come visit me, I'm probably not going to let you. I'm probably going to insist that you still log onto your computer and see me online. Because at the end of the day, that is going to be the best way for you to create lasting change. And if you want to do it in person, go find therapists who'll do it with you. My guess is you've already done that and it hasn't worked. That's why you're watching this video right now. So if these are your concerns, I'm happy to talk about it with you more in session. But understand from my perspective, I've seen great success fixing people with OP on Zoom. So let me do that with you.